Hey, buddy, welcome back to Now Timmy 66. I'm actually trying this again to see if I'm actually doing this right. If someone could just leave me a comment and let me know, hey, I can hear you okay, and that I'm doing it correctly, that would be really, really great. Um, I probably won't keep this up, but chat topics would be anything alien, anything UFO, anything Bigfoot related, anything it might have to do. If you have any questions for me about work at Amazon or any of those things, feel free to chime in and let me know. And I'll stay on here for a little bit just to see if I can possibly get somebody on here to chat. It's probably going to be one of the most boring live chats you've ever seen. But my buddy Jeff and I just did a live stream over on Generation X Unfiltered, which is our mutual channel that we share together. And we created the channel basically to do lives. And on that one, we went ahead and we discussed prepping. Is prepping even worth it? And it's pretty interesting. So you might want to go over and watch that. I think we chatted for about an hour or so. Guess I just can't get enough of doing live streams today. And I thought, you know what? I've never really done one on Not Timmy 66. So really, honestly, we can chat about anything that you guys might be interested in talking about. From like I said, UFO, UAP, anything like that, anything new in the news. What do you guys think is going to happen after the election? Do you think it's going to be mayhem in the streets like they're talking about, or do you think that maybe that might just be a cover for something? Um, what do you guys think, or do you even care? My main goal is to make sure that I have this set up done properly and that you guys can hear me okay. And yeah, we'll go from there. So I got a thumbs up, it looks like, which is always good. That's encouraging. I guess maybe somebody can hear me that way then. I don't know why I'm not seeing anything in live chat. Um, and guys, I probably am going to be technically challenged on this until I actually get used to being able to do this the proper way. Um, but I wanted to just give it a shot and see if it's something that you guys even like. Um, I think one of my biggest failings on this channel is I'm really good at putting out videos with my opinion, but I don't spend a lot of time discussing one to one with you guys, and I'd like to do that. Oh, we do have a comment. Yay! Thank you. Let's see what we've got. Got to put my eyeballs on. I think that the Kamala doesn't stand a chance because she is a woman. Trump will win. Wow. Okay. Well, and that's from Pizapi. I hope I'm saying that right, Pizapi. Well, I don't know if it's because she's a woman necessarily. I think more along the lines of just plain and simple, her politics are on the wrong side of the way that a lot of people are feeling right now about the state of the country, the cost of everything, the economies. In my opinion, when it costs double, sometimes triple to buy a hamburger and stuff for the family, food, things like that, and so much money on gas, and there's just too much month left at the end of the paycheck, to be honest with you. And we can work real hard and do these things, but I don't think it has anything to do with her gender. That's just my own opinion there. Yes. Now that honestly, Pizzapi said yes, plus what she stands for. She would be another Biden 2.0. And I think that does have a lot to do with it. I happen to tend to agree with you on that one, Pizzapi. Um, man, I'll tell you what, I think people are kind of sick of the Biden BS that's been going on the last 4 years. And honestly, we haven't seen much from Biden, which is not a big, huge surprise. But yeah, she would go to further his policies, probably keep a lot of things the same, and it's just not working. I mean, we've got open borders with terrorists coming through. If you haven't watched Sean Ryan's show, it is most excellent. And this was an older video they put out, but he had a CIA targeter on there that really broke down how much the terrorists are infiltrating through the borders and things along those lines. In her expert opinion, our borders are wide open, and we are setting ourselves up. And in my humble opinion, I don't think Biden has really done anything to stem that flow of humanity coming in. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous for us as American citizens. But she would further those policies. I don't think our financial situation would get any better at all. Pizzapi, I believe he would still run the U.S. through her. The borders are not being controlled. No, they're not. And honestly, there's been a lot of speculation out there that really Biden hasn't even really been in control. I mean, there's some people that talk about the fact that Obama is the one that's really running the show. Now, again, I'm no expert and I don't know, and I don't like to start rumors of stuff that I don't really have any concrete evidence on, but that has been said out there before. So, you know, there's other people running the country other than Joe Biden, for sure. And Kamala Harris would be, I believe, just another puppet of the system. See, I have this philosophy. Okay, I think back when Trump was running against um, Clinton, Hillary Clinton. See, I think it was supposed to go Obama, then Hillary Clinton, so that they could, so that the progressive agenda and the direction that they wanted the country to go and could keep going in that direction. And it was supposed to go that way. And I don't think anybody really expected Trump. I think Trump came out of left field. I don't think he was easily controlled by the establishment per se. And I think he threw a huge monkey wrench into their plans. But I think it was a progressive plan. I think they said, okay, well, when Obama's got it started, then we've got, we'll have, after President Obama, we'll have a President Hillary Clinton who will further the agenda. And then just moving forward from there. They didn't expect Trump to run in and mess up their plans the way that he did. So politics is interesting. Yeah, I think that, and honestly, how much cognitive ability or what have you. I To be honest with you, I don't really, I feel bad for Joe Biden. I think um I don't like to see people being taken advantage of. And you can say that he was a willing participant in some things, but to be honest with you, I think he was used, a figurehead. But I do agree that the borders do have to be controlled. They have to be shut down and controlled. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about if Trump wins this election? Are things really going to change, or is it just going to be kind of a 4 year pause on the agenda moving forward? I think they've done everything they can to stop Trump from having a chance of getting back in office because they honestly, I don't think they want any more interruptions in their plans. Now you've got Trump Vance as a ticket. And if Trump does well, then, it's a strong possibility that JD Vance would run after Trump is done with his term. So, not sure on that. And by the way, Trump's already been president for 4 years. He can only do another four, if I'm correct. I don't think he can do a second term or run for a second term. So it would be 4 years more of Trump if he wins. And then it would go to open field again. And presumably, JD Vance would run on the ticket. And that may be the way to go. That may be a way of kind of moving things back a little bit more with the U.S. But I don't know. I get a sense, and I've been wrong before. So, don't, I'm not trying to be an expert here, but I get a sense that the overwhelming push and trajectory of the country is going a certain way with open borders, possibly, again, just my thoughts, possibly to a new world, a one world government, not necessarily a new world order, but yeah, I guess in a way it would be a new world order because we would have one world government. And if that ever happens, my friends, we're in some serious, serious trouble. Pizzazzy asked me, who do you think is taking advantage? I guess I don't understand what you mean. Who do you think is taking advantage of the situation the way it is now politically? Well, all the people that are the non-elected officials that are in the White House and in the Pentagon and the deep state is taking huge advantage of this. When I see millionaires just filling their coffers, I was talking to my wife the other day and I said, you know what? Let's say you started a company and you earned $1.8 billion within the first year. Would that be enough money? Or in the second year, would you try to go for 3 billion? When's enough enough? Okay, Pizapi, well, you said you thought he was being taken. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes, I do think that Biden's being taken advantage of. I think the situation's being taken advantage of. I think they're very careful about how they do it. I just don't think that he is like in charge as much. And I don't think he ever has been really in charge. I think he's had handlers, trusted people that he trusts that are putting suggestions in. Now they're following, obviously, Joe Biden's a seasoned politician. Been in politics for what, 40 plus years. But I think that he's being taken advantage of in the situation of his declining mental faculties and his declining health. I think it's almost akin to some kind of elder abuse in a way. And I think that's sad. I really do. I don't like to see anybody taken advantage of in that way. Now, can't take advantage of the willing, right? Maybe he's willing to. But at the same time, there comes a see, I think the only reason that this is out, I think the only reason that he stopped running for reelection was the simple fact that it just simply could not be hidden anymore. They couldn't hide it anymore. They couldn't put it behind sound bites. That he had to be out there too much, and his ability to be able to perform as a politician was so diminished that it just simply could not be hidden anymore. So they had to make a decision. The best laid plans, right? I think they hoped that Biden would get in, and that, well, he did get in, but they hoped that during his presidency that they'd be able to uh, move right along with him, hoping that his health would hold out long enough for their agendas to be realized. And in a lot of ways, it has been realized. We got open borders. We've got all kinds of things that people disagree with. Pizepi says there were multiple clips on YouTube of him even failing. It was yeah, and it was to the point where even the person, I'm not saying uneducated people or whatever, but it was people that were that are just casual viewers were like, what the heck was that? Some of the stuff he was saying was just so left field that you couldn't hide the fact that there was something wrong anymore. So they had to make a decision. And again, not necessarily so much a political thing, because I try really hard not to stay in the political realm, but my interest lies more in what's going on with UAPs and the government and things along those lines. But let's be honest. I mean, we all have to live in this country, and when it becomes unlivable to a point where it's ridiculous, then we've got a problem. Pizzapi says he seems incompetent. Well, he is incompetent, but he wasn't always incompetent. If you go back and look at clips of Joe Biden back when he was a senator, when he was in Congress, and all those things, he was very, very shrewd, very sharp. Matter of fact, even as vice president of the United States under Obama, he was pretty sharp. I think maybe he was already starting to fail some of the early signs of Alzheimer's or whatever have you that he's suffering from happen. But I believe honestly that he was failing a little bit even back then. And as you know, as we get older, if we have a condition, it's going to get worse and worse. And to me, it's kind of sad. It's like, let's just parade him out there. Jay Snip Jabrani, it wasn't a breaking point. It went down exactly how they orchestrated it. He wasn't fit to run in 2020. Hid in the basement. You're correct. And that's exactly what I was getting at. I believe honestly that he wasn't really fit to run then. But it was easier to hide. And the powers that be, the ones that are the power brokers, the ones that are really in charge, said, you know, he's going to be the safest bet. They certainly didn't want anybody else in. They wanted a establishment politician in office. And there may have been favors that needed to be paid back. You know, keep in mind he was the vice president of the United States for 8 years. So, you know, maybe there was some payment that needed to be done. I don't know. I can tell you that who was it, Bernie Sanders, they certainly didn't want him. And Bernie Sanders was actually doing pretty good. They put the kibosh on that. And to me, that election was a breaking point. It spoke volumes to me. And to be honest with you, I don't hate on Biden, really. I mean, to be honest with you, as a person, I mean, I know that he's probably had some criminal activity and all that with Hunter Biden, who's a drug addict. Um, I I don't know a lot of ins and outs of that, but I just think it's sad when other people take advantage of someone that's in a vulnerable situation. Like, and I'm not asking everybody, hey, feel sorry for Biden, um, but I think it's sad when someone's taken advantage of like that. To me, it's like elder abuse. You know, it's like parading somebody out there in name only. And it went down exactly as they orchestrated it. It's interesting to me. I mean, I don't know. You can ask a lot of people. Trump will say that the election was stolen, and yeah, you're right, Jabroni. They shafted Bernie twice. Twice, Bernie was like, "Power to the people," or whatever he said, whatever his mantra was. And twice the establishment said, sorry, Bernie. And to me, that's not the way the American system should work, right? Right? To me, that just says that the power brokers, The ones that really want the power and the control are like, hey, you ain't going to upset this apple cart. I think there's too much money involved. I don't know. I know the whole thing is pretty messed up. And as you guys know on my videos and stuff like that, I've said 100 times, I'm 58 years old. I've been on this planet long enough to see quite a bit of change in the United States. That's why in one of my videos, I said I long for the 70s. It seemed like times were simpler back then. Now, I could be wrong. I was young back then. I was born in 66. So, you know, I was up and coming. I didn't have any knowledge of politics or anything, but it just seemed like people were more neighborly. It seemed like there was more fun things to do. Everybody wasn't as connected as we are now. And it seemed like there was a lot more to life, a lot more to the American dream back then than there is now. I don't know. I don't know you guys' ages that are watching and commenting on here, but I do miss the simpler times. Heck, even the 80s. And what's sad to me is that, I've gone the full gambit. About the time I started getting political, getting interested in politics or anything like that was about the time of Reagan. And matter of fact, I went in to serve when Reagan was my commander in chief, and I couldn't have been prouder. Those days were things were a lot more cut and dried. Pizzapi, you were born in 84. So, okay, you've even seen, and I'm sure being just born in 84, you've seen a huge shift from the way things were to the way things are now. I mean, I'm a Gen Xer, and we were raised a little bit different, right? I mean, during my generation when we were coming up, the divorce was real big, and there was a lot of what we call latchkey kids. We were kind of left to fend on our own because our parent didn't have much of a choice. They had to go to work. So it wasn't me particularly. My parents stayed married. But a lot of my friends, they went home, they had a key to their own house, they let themselves in. Heck, sometimes they had to cook their own dinner. They did for themselves. And there wasn't all this, I don't know, namby-pamby stuff going on back then. Things were a lot simpler. It was a simpler time. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. Oh, you haven't. Pizzapi says she has a Gen X older sibling. Yeah. Yeah, we're a different breed. And J Snip Jabroni, fun to grow up then. Wish I'd have recognized the golden age when I was in it. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you look back on things and you go, man. I mean, the biggest thing we had to worry about was seatbelt laws, I think, back then. We used to be able to ride in pickup trucks in the back. I can remember on the interstate without helmets or knee pads. Born in 74, raised in the 80s, which seemed like a magical time. It was. And the movies, everything was just, I mean, you had Star Wars, you had E.T., you had, oh my gosh, there were so many awesome programs on TV, but there was more than just TV back then, guys. We would go out and play kick the can until the streetlights came on. And man, on summer break, or, when school was out, I would hit that door as soon as I ate my Cheerios or whatever it was I ate for breakfast or a Pop Tart, and I didn't come home sometimes until supper time. And my parents weren't worried about where I was at. I wasn't sitting in my room glued to my phone or my computer. I was out raising hell, playing war, we used to call it, where we used to do stupid things. I grew up in a small town in Nebraska, and we used to go out and have BB gun wars, for heaven's sakes. Go swimming in the river. Man, it was a magical time. It was so much different back then, and I miss those days. So, Corey, you're right. It was a magical time. But, we move forward. I just think that it's sad that our kids don't, my kids anyway, don't know what that magic was really like. Yep, Saturday morning, Pizzapi says Pizzapi says he was outside by 9 a.m. Yeah. Well, I always watched Saturday morning cartoons, and I would probably watch those till about like 11 ish. Yeah, around 11, 11:30, because that's when all the stupid stuff came on I didn't really care about, and so I'd shut it off. I'd watch the Bugs Bunny Laugh in a Half Hour and a Half show. I watched X-Men. I watched all those cartoons. Loved it. And there was real violence. It wasn't edited back then. Well, cartoon violence, but you know what I mean. Chopping off of beaks and feet and things like that. Jason Ipner Jabrani, when the dust settles on the collapse of Clown World, U.S. Gen Xers will right the ship. Well, there's something to be said for Gen Xers being tough and self sufficient. That's for sure. I'm not saying that any other generation doesn't have its tough brand of people, but we are a certain kind of tough. Yeah. Yeah. BB gun fights. We used to have them. And a buddy of mine had a pellet gun. You could pump that sucker up to like 10. Shot me in the ass one time. Left a welt. You know, when we didn't even have safety goggles on or nothing, man. We were just walking through the woods hoping nobody got a bead on us. Now it's paintball, and paintball hurts, but it isn't quite the same because you have to go to a paintball course. I mean, our course was the neighborhood and the surrounding woods. Johnny Quest, yeah. What was that show about the dinosaurs? Land of the Lost with the Slee Stack. I love that show. Slee Stack kind of freaked me out a little bit. I'm not going to lie. So, Zappy, yeah, my Gen X sibling took care of the smaller siblings while our parents worked. Yeah, this is the way it was back then. The older one always took care of and was responsible for the younger ones. I was the youngest of three, or I am the youngest of three, I should say. But my mom was a kind of a rarity. She was a stay at home mom, and my dad brought in, we were never super rich, we were just middle class. But my dad went to work and my mom stayed home, kind of took care of us, took care of the house, things like that. So times were definitely different back then, guys. And I kind of long for those days. And I said it in one of my videos, like sometimes I'll go back and I'll watch like a movie from that era. Like I don't know when Starman was made, but I mentioned Starman with Jeff Bridges and I think it's Karen Allen. Um, just not only is it a good movie, but just for some reason for me that gives a full sense of the it captures the feel of that time in America. Payphones and all that stuff. Before we were all really so connected. Crazy times, guys. And you look at the world the way it is now and you just wonder how we got here, right? Like I said on one of my previous videos, we vote them in, I guess. And things change. I mean, I'm a realist and I know that society is always going to move forward and there's always going to be advancements in technology. They knew AI was coming for a long, long time. They've been working on it forever. But where does it leave us at the end of the day? And I think somehow we lose just a little bit of our humanity. Well, actually, a lot of our humanity with it. We're not as connected anymore. Neighbors used to know neighbors. Um, Borrowing each other's power tools. My dad used to do that. lawnmower would break down. You need to mow the yard. You go next door and borrow the next door neighbor's lawnmower. Our parents would get together with their parents, and us kids would hang out, and they would sit out in the driveway and drink beer. You know, block parties. We used to have block parties where we would block off and everybody be out running around and people cook out. And those days are gone. And it's sad. At least where I live, I haven't seen a block party in forever. Those were good times. And sometimes I like to go back and watch those movies, not because I wish I lived in the past. I lived through those times, but just to kind of take a little trip down memory lane. You know what I mean? It's just kind of cool. And now we've got Russia, Ukraine. We've got what's going on with Israel and Iran and Hezbollah and all the terrorism. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there was terrorism back in the 70s as well, but maybe it was just as bad and we just didn't hear about it. Some people say we have fonder memories of that, but I don't know. Hang on a second, guys. Well, I'm on a live on Not Timmy. I decided to finally do a live. So congratulations, Jeff. You're on the live with us. we're just having a little Saturday chat. Oh, really? So my buddy just called me, guys, and said that my live isn't working real well. I don't know. I'm getting some comments. Oh no, that was a mistake. I erased that. Yeah, I for you guys that can't hear Jeff, Jeff has an awesome channel that I try to support. I'll put you on loudspeaker. Maybe they can pick it up on here. Jeff has an awesome channel called Miller Time Adventure, and he does RV. He does
Miller Time Journey.
Miller Time Journey. Excuse me. I keep saying adventure. I'm so sorry. And I will link it in the description below for Jeff. So go check out Miller Time Journey. It's an awesome channel. We also have a channel together called Generation X Unfiltered. We just did a live over there. And I guess I couldn't get enough of being live today. So I decided to try my first live ever on Not Timmy 66. But Jeff said that there's an issue going on with my live. So
oh, wait a minute. Maybe I wasn't on that one. Hold on here. Let me just see. Oh, yeah. It says it's live. All right.
So we were just talking about like the different the 70s and the simpler times.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I heard myself on TV.
There you go. Yeah, all right, dude. I'm gonna hang this one up. I'll call you back. All right, bye. Jeff is a really, really, really good friend of mine. We met a long time ago in church, and we were in the worship band together back in the church day. And he started a channel, Miller Time Journey, and it's an awesome channel. He got an RV and he does that, and he does all kinds of reviews of products and things like that. But we've been good friends for a long time, and we have a lot of really good discussions. So for a long time, we wanted to start something together, and so we started a channel that's basically geared towards just lives called Generation X Unfiltered. So if you want to see me and Jeff basically shooting the shit, go ahead and check it out. It's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. I have a great time with it. All right, let's catch up with the comments. When the dust settles, okay. Jay Snipner Brosny, that's so funny. I was typing, okay, I read that. Johnny Quest, I read that. Puerto Rican Hammer's on board. Hey, Puerto Rican Hammer, how you doing, buddy? Sleep is the switch. We will always get the government we deserve. Very true. We elect them, don't we? Okay, so Hammer says that Live is working on his end. That's good. Thank you. No problem with it in the United Kingdom. Awesome. Well, welcome, Lisa, from the United Kingdom. That's freaking cool. What time is it over there? Jay Snipner Brosny. Dumb as it sounds, I watched Smokey and the Bandit the other day, and it really reminded me of how much I miss those days. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. Simpler times, man. Smokey and the Bandit. That's another good example. Hammer, no work today at Amazon. No, not today, but tomorrow. Actually, I said this earlier, but I had a 60-hour week last week. Then this week I had a 50-hour week. And it's so far this week they're leaving us alone down to a 40-hour week. So I'll work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 10s. And hopefully I'll have Thursday, Friday, Saturday off of next week. So more time to do videos and things like this. Generation. Oh, there's Jeff. Hey, Jeffy. How you doing? I just called you Jeffy. Hammer's at a baby shower. Okay. And you're on the live. I don't blame you. Baby showers and guys, just, I don't know. Doug Ben. Hi, Doug. Old music makes me reminisce about the good old days, but I'm not living in the past. I'm always living now and trying to think forward to be prepared for what might come. Wise. Doug, that's wise. Oh, Jeff got his pizza. All right. I haven't got my pizza. We were joking on our other channel that he always talks about pizza, and his wife Loretta was on there saying that she was hungry, and Jeff's like, well, there's always pizza, and he got his pizza. So now I'm hungry for pizza. Thanks, Jeff. So yeah, I mean, I like to look back at those older movies and stuff like that. Even TV shows, like I'll watch Magnum PI, not the new one. The new one, in my opinion, sucks, but the old one with Tom Selleck. Or we'll watch. My wife and I like to watch NCIS. For some reason, it puts me to sleep. I don't know. If we want to go to sleep, we put on NCIS. But you can go back into the earlier episodes, and those were even in just the early 2000s, I believe, that those came out. Like right after 9/11 and stuff, I believe is when that show began. And things were even different back then. But if you really want to take a trip down memory lane for those of us that are old enough, or if you're young and you want to go back and see how things were, Smokey and the Bandit, Starman, those Magnum PI, all those shows, you kind of get a glimpse of how society was, what kind of cars we drove. There were really no cell phones. People weren't connected like we are now. Cagney and Lacey and Chips. Lisa says she loved Cagney and Lacey, which my wife, I think, liked that show, and I know my mom loved that show. And Chips, wasn't that with, what was that guy's name? He was controversial. California Highway Interstate Patrol is what CHIP stands for, I believe. But yeah, those were the good old days. Those days, they're not coming back, guys. I guess we have to make new good old days now, right? And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good stuff that goes on with technology. It's made life a lot easier. There's been a lot of advancements medically that we didn't have back in the 70s and the 80s. There's been a lot of advancements, and there's been a lot of good that technology has done for society. But I'm kind of thinking that the good kind of outweighed the bad, to be honest, has outweighed the bad. Maybe that's a cynical point of view from an old fart like me. I don't know. Ed Woodward and Equalizer. Didn't watch Ed Woodward. Edward Woodward? What was that? I know the name, but I don't know. I was like into Buck Rogers, the original Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek. I guess I've always been a sci-fi nerd. Star Wars, of course, was huge before they ruined it. um, yeah. And that was back in the days where you actually had to wait for the program to come on. So if there was a cliffhanger, you didn't know what was going to happen. You couldn't binge watch the show, right? You had to wait till the next episode aired the next week. My sisters, I have two older sisters, they always watched Dynasty and Knots Landing. And to me, those were all just soap operas and stuff. Used to my dad would let me stay up late sometimes, and I would watch Monty Python on PBS is where they would run it, or shows like that. Eric Estrada, thank you. Eric Estrada, wasn't he kind of controversial? Or maybe he was just like the poster boy and the other guy wasn't as hot. What about Emergency? Anybody ever watch that? Now I'm really dating myself, but Emergency. Benny Hill. Yeah, talk about Benny Hill. Now, my dad enjoyed Benny Hill. He would laugh at that, but if my mom caught him watching it, he had to shut it off. That was a little bit too risque for my household. But yeah, Benny Hill. Benny Hill was vulgar. Yeah, in a lot of ways, Benny Hill ticked off a lot of people. Johnny Carson, The Tonight Show. I mean, I could go on and on and on. There was the Love Boat. Who watched the Friday night lineup? Was it the Love Boat? No. Who's it? Bo and Duke. Dukes of Hazzard, Love Boat, and Fantasy Island. I think it was on Friday nights or Saturday nights. It was like a ABC lineup. J. Snip Jabrani. People carry a device that gives more info and power than any world leader had 20 years ago. That's very true. Very true. Fantasy Island. Welcome to Fantasy Island. Deep Lane. Remember that? Now we got Fantasy Island right here in our pockets. Right? Instant gratification. It's funny. We watch Jeff and I will talk about this a lot when we're making videos and stuff. Can't make them too long because people won't watch them. So if you want to gain any subscribers or anything like that, you've got to keep the algorithm for YouTube happy. And shorts are such a big deal. I don't do too many shorts anymore. I used to, but I'm tired of them. Fantasy Island. Yep. But I used to watch that too and then try to get outside, but usually it was dark by then and I had to come back in. But I used to watch that. J. Snip Jabrodny. It's never been easier to find info and communicate. We've never been worse at it. Most young people can't even look you in the eye. That's true. And they don't have phone conversations anymore. They text. I have a thought behind that. The reason they text is because it's easier to kind of hide behind the text. It's not as easy to hide emotions or whatever, or how you're feeling about something when you're on the phone and they can hear inflection in your voice. It's crazy. Society was going to make everybody technology was going to make society so much better. And in some ways it really has, but in other ways, it's divided us even more. Lisa said that she's just started pen pal writing. Now that is a forgotten art form. That is really cool. Pen pal. That's awesome. In my channel, Lisa, I've got an email. Send me some information on that. I wouldn't mind getting into a little pen pal. That'd be fun. I like to write. Heck, they don't even focus on handwriting anymore in school. My kids are like, what's cursive? We had to teach our kids how to do cursive. It's not a requirement anymore because we all do type, 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 type. And we do this now. Yeah, and times have changed. And you know, like was said, I don't try to live in the past. You always try to move forward and live in today and keep your, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Keep your options open, or keep your mind focused on moving forward, I guess. But every now and then it'll kind of catch me off guard. There'll be some old show on and I'll watch it and I'll be like, wow, that was a much simpler time back then. Jay Snepnabrodny, I imagine Benny Hill theme playing to a bit of TBS Loons scrambling. Yeah, scrambling to flee a sinking ship. A Miller Time Journey. I started pen paling. In fact, what, Jeff? He's a prince. Said he would make me wealthy if I can help with a small amount of money now. What? I don't get that, Jeff. I'm stupid. Lisa, you can't beat handwritten letter. Much more personal. Very true. It's lost art form, and it's going away. Scam alert. Oh, I don't know. I'm lost on that comment. What's a Prince scam? I'm stupid. I don't know. Oh, I got it. Is that one of those things where they scam you and say that they've got all this money they need transferred or whatever, some kind of scam like that? Something like that. I think I'm recalling it now. I don't know. But I will agree with Lisa that you really can't beat a handwritten letter. It takes time and thought. It's like a forgotten art form now because everything's electronic, everything's email. When's the last time you got a handwritten letter from somebody? It's been years since I've gotten a handwritten letter. Well, we got 7 people watching, 6 people watching now. I guess I've gone off the reservation and we're losing people as we speak. This was fun to do a live. I don't know why I haven't done more of them on my channel here. I enjoy doing them. I love the comments. That's one of the main things that I really love about doing YouTube is being able to read the comments and people's different points of view. And being able to do this live is really, to me, it's a benefit of technology. So I think it's awesome. I I I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not professional. Obviously, I look terrible. I don't have the right lighting. I'm using my webcam on here, and it's just fun to kind of have a community that we can chat. What is this channel about? Debbie, I'm not laughing at you, but I'm the creator of this channel and I really don't even know what this channel is about. I kind of joke and say it's kind of like a Seinfeld episode, right? About nothing. It's about basically whatever I try to bring up. We talk about work, we talk about politics, we talk about, though my wife hates when I get into politics, we talk about UFOs, UAPs, supernatural, aliens, Bigfoot, talk about how great it was back in the 70s. We talk about conspiracy theories on this channel. We talk about all kinds of stuff. But I'm not laughing at you, Debbie. Don't get me wrong. I'm not making fun in any way, shape, or form. I'm just laughing because half the time I don't know what the channel's about. Just kind of a community that we try to get together and share our thoughts. And really, on this community, nobody really has a wrong answer. It's just kind of like whatever you really want to talk about, we'll talk about, and just have fun. Yes, Debbie, a place to gather. Place to gather, have fun. Last couple videos I've done have been about my work. I work for Amazon. I'm definitely not a rich man in any way, shape, or form, but I like to discuss different social topics, and I'm heavily into like the aliens, the conspiracy theories, things like that. But I try to temper that with some common sense things, and I try to temper it with some everyday things. Some days you just might see me go to Walmart. I don't know. This has been a lot of fun. I've had a real good time. So this is 2 lives in one day, guys. And I just thought, heck, I've never done a live on here before, so I thought maybe I'd jump on and see if anybody would join me. And I sure have had some people join me, and it's awesome. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. If you guys got anything more to say, now's the time to say it. Anything you want. I mean, obviously, keep it respectful. Debbie says conspiracy theories are actually turning out to be real. Yeah. They really are. A lot of you used to say you had to wear the tinfoil hat and stuff like that. A lot of them are actually turning out to be very, very true. Debbie, thank you. Debbie just said good luck with the channel. I appreciate that. I have no aspirations that I'm ever going to be a 1 million subscriber channel or anything like that. And that's not why I started it. I started it to toot my own horn and to include people. I want to create a community of people that just like to get together and chat or like to watch videos, entertainment, and explore some of the things that we really don't have the answer for and get everybody's take on things. Something along those lines. Jay Snip Jabrani, glad I caught your live. Found you a few months back. Gotta run. See you later, y'all. Be safe and be good. Jabrani, over and out. Jabrani, thank you for joining the chat. Guys, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and end this one. But thank you guys so much for making this live successful. It's been fun. We'll have to do it again. This time I'll do it with a little bit more notice. I'll put a community post out letting you guys know when I'm going to do a live so that hopefully more people can, if you want to be a part of the live, you can at least have a little advanced warning as opposed to just, I think I'm going to go live. Bye, Debbie. And Lisa says, yes, there aren't conspiracy theories, just so unbelievable and pretty terrifying. So people hide from it. You're right. And I don't think we should hide from it. I think we ought to discuss it. I don't think that people are as dumb as certain individuals that are have a higher pay grade than me think we are. Y'all take care. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend. Okay. Get out there, get away from the electronics a little bit. Get out there and take a walk. Just enjoy life. Not Timmy66. I'm signing out for now, guys. We've got a new video coming out real soon. I just have to edit it, put it together. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this. And there's more to come. Everybody, take care. I'm going to end this now. Take care.